All right, now we're going to dig into the Iowa caucuses. Just 4 weeks away, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley are both campaigning in the state today, where former President Donald Trump holds, a commanding lead. Let's bring in CBS News campaign reporters Navarro and Taurean, who are both following all the action in Iowa. Aaron, I'm going to start with you. Talk to us about the DeSantis campaign strategy in Iowa, just a month out from the caucuses. How is he doing, and how is he trying to create some distance between himself and Nikki Haley and close the gap between himself and the former president, Donald Trump?
Yeah, it's doing a lot of events like he is doing right now this morning. I'm here at the VFW post in Cedar Rapids, and DeSantis is really amping up his Iowa schedule as he is trying to convince voters and show voters that he will outwork former President Trump despite the lead. And that's been the common theme among all of the Republican challengers, that they are doing more in the state, they're doing more events than Donald Trump, and they're trying to show voters that them being in the flesh, them doing more than him, shows that that Trump cannot be anointed the nomination. And so they're trying to outwork him. So we're going to see a lot of DeSantis in Iowa in the next couple of weeks.
Taurean, what can you tell us about Nikki Haley's traction in Iowa?
Yeah, so Nikki Haley has returned to the Hawkeye State to take a shot at, the person who's going for that second place spot, which is Ron DeSantis. She's started to ramp up aggressive attacks against some of what she's calling lies his campaign has been fielding against her. She specifically at an event yesterday really nailed down him on his record, but also called out him for campaigning with Representative Thomas Massie, a person that she called the most anti-Israel Republican in Congress. Take a listen.
Ron DeSantis, who says Ukraine's a territorial dispute and that this is Israel's war, not America's war, turns around and brings in a Republican into Iowa that is the most anti-Israel Republican there is, who voted with the squad.
So they're in two separate lanes, right? So Nikki Haley is looking to approach not just those hardcore conservatives, but also some more moderate Republicans. A lot of voters that I talked to at our event yesterday said they're not likely to vote for Trump, whereas we know that DeSantis is looking to win over some of those Trump supporters.
Aaron, let me ask you a little bit about DeSantis and his strategy, but also his campaign. You remember early on there was kind of a lot of upheaval in his campaign. Now there are kind of these accusations that his super PAC is actually running the campaign, which shouldn't be. This is, obviously accusations from people who are not aligned with DeSantis. But what's going on? What's the sense you're getting from the DeSantis campaign? Is it organized? Is it raising money? Does it have what it needs?
Well, they're really kind of putting their head down and doing the work. So to kind of talk about the Super PAC has been holding events for the DeSantis campaign. Due to FEC laws, federal election laws, they can only invite him as a special guest. So they kind of set the date, they set the details, and he can either accept or decline. And the CLC complaint that you referenced is essentially saying that the campaign and the Super PAC have been coordinating when it comes to either events, advertising, and it's kind of the blurry gray line that the Super PAC campaign ethos gets into. But in terms of the actual campaign itself, I was talking to them yesterday. They do feel confident that they can not only do well in Iowa, but kind of turn this into a slugfest eventually between themselves and Donald Trump. Obviously, Nikki Haley is the big obstacle when you look at New Hampshire and South Carolina. On fundraising, I'm hearing that they always do well after these debates, and they really cut back and created a more lean operation, especially after a summer of overspending. So as of now, the DeSantis team is confident, but as you know, if he does poorly in Iowa, which he's banked a lot on, that can really start to see that can cause some of the money to dry up if it really is an underwhelming performance. But we'll see.
Taurean, let's talk about CBS News polling, which shows Nikki Haley gaining momentum on former President Trump in New Hampshire. Talk to me about what's driving this.
Yeah, so versus the other candidates like Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley has been splitting her time between New Hampshire and Iowa instead of going all in on Iowa, but it's been unevenly split. She spent a lot more time in New Hampshire focusing on voters there. And like I said before, she's going after not necessarily the same group of voters that DeSantis is looking to get. She's trying to win over independents in New Hampshire, something that Ron DeSantis has hit back on, calling her two sides of a politician, or you get two politicians in one. But again, her reach here is to those independent and more moderate voters. And we've seen her most recently take on Donald Trump directly, criticizing him more harshly than she has before in the past. Yesterday, she called out his record on China, on his record on the economy, and she's also going after him for chumming up with dictators, she said.
All right, Aaron Navarro, Taurean Small. Thank you, guys.